as always with the PE, it's about fast starts, getting out there. Groton know that it's a tough draw going against Eton, so they have to go out, and they have absolutely gone like the clappers out of the start, really attacking it.
Yeah, I thought the Eton start was quite nice and patient, and by contrast, Groton was really putting the watts down every single stroke, and that might get them up and running fast. It could be expensive as well. You can see a really aggressive stroke style of rowing here from the Groton crew.
It looks expensive, doesn't it? But, you know, what else are you going to do? They come here, they want to race as much as they can, and you can already see that the length, the smoothness, the composure and that Eton crew is telling. But, you know, great that Groton just took it to them, piled in everything they could from the word go.
Look at that lovely rhythm being set there by Joseph Olagunde in the stroke seat of Eton College, rating 34 strokes a minute, so down to a nice controlled race rhythm here. Strong boat speed, even in a pretty strong headwind, Kath.
It is tough conditions out there, so again they're going to want to try and put this to bed so they can conserve energy. You know, if you're racing sort of right the way through the regatta, then you've got to think about how you pace that. And you make sure you get the cobwebs out on the first day as well. Get used to the water here. The water always feels different. And even though, you know, some of these raced here last year, it takes some time, doesn't it, to get used to it again. So you can see that at Groton, they're still attacking at 35 to 36 strokes a minute. They have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Eton have already got a clear water advantage, which is pretty impressive this early in the race. We're not even at the barrier. We're just around 500 metres into the race. The barrier, which is our first major timing point, is at 660 metres in. And there you can see that really sort of efficient, long stroke that the Eton crew have been rowing in style. I think the last few years, coached by Mark Fangan Hall, in 4 years he's won the National Schools Regatta twice and the Princess Elizabeth twice, and they'll be aiming to see if they can add to that trophy cabinet here.
Really impressive length. You can see actually the shoulders of the Eton crew, they don't lift at the beginning of the stroke. They're not kind of, you know, awkward like they look at in Little and the Groton School. There's a lot of kind of effort. The shoulders are pulling each way, whereas you see here this brilliant consistency where they're trying to be efficient with their movements, and they're just pulling out stroke by stroke. They're chaining, they're getting that good sense that stroke's blade goes in after all the puddles, which is a sign of the superior boat speed they have.
Just looking here, Kath, we can see some of the challenges of steering and swirl and wind here as we're looking back at the Groton crew, almost kind of crabbing slightly across the course, contending with the wind. But Eton have already got, well, several lengths of clear water, and as you're saying, just a great opportunity to look at the technical style of this crew. Really loosen the shoulders. It's all in the legs and just pushing the boat past the spoon as it goes into the water. Lovely style of rowing.
It is. They've got length. They need to make sure that to get the stability in these choppy conditions, you want that sense of you know, not leaning either way. The weight is very central going onto both feet. So you're able then to just ride along on top of the waves, the ripple, the challenging, sometimes unpredictable swirl out there.
Yeah, and if you're not a rower, just looking at this picture, you can see what we're trying to do in rowing, which is just put the oar in the water and then lever the boat past the oar that sort of stays stationary. And when it's done well, you can sort of see that happening stroke by stroke, almost looking effortless. Obviously a degree of confidence as they come into the sunlight well ahead of their opposition, who come all the way from Massachusetts. The crew now coming into shot, the Americans, having put a lot of effort in the first part of the race to try to stay with Eton, and found it quite problematic to do that, and now they're tiring, but they've still got a decent chunk of the course to go as we're coming up to the mile and eighth signal.
So from Eton, they've been the national school champions this summer, so we know that they are putting themselves out there as the crew to beat. They were second at the head of the river, second to Shiplake. So they won't be able to do the triple this year, but they're certainly going to be looking to try and do the double.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's so competitive, junior men's and women's eights at the moment, really competitive. And for Eton to have won 2 out of the 4 last national schools, Guy Pooley, director of rowing there, alongside Mark Fangan Hall, both of them with some Cambridge pedigree to their name. Guy famously 4 boat races to his name. Mark Fangan Hall, the son of Graham Hall, who coached Cambridge some years ago in the boat race. So some connections there. We've also had Robin Williams coaching, the fantastically successful international coach and former Cambridge coach as well. So there's something of a consistency in the style that they're trying to row. Really nice and efficient, and now pretty comfortable for them.
a really exciting time for, you know, Groton, though, because we've got people here who don't have that background, who haven't rowed at Henley before, and lots of them here excited to be rowing, you know, for the first time ever at Henley. So this is all about a completely different experience, something that's very different from the racing they've done at home. They raced at Marlow, they raced at Reading Town, so they've been sort of getting a feel for the Thames Valley kind of river racing opportunities.
Yeah.
But, you know, brilliant. We've got people who are cross-country runners, basketball in college. You know, started rowing 3 months ago, Henry Haskell at 4. And, you know, stroke Sebastian El-Hajj competing in his first Henley Regatta, having taken up rowing in 2018. So, you know, what kind of enthusiasm there is to be right here, part of this incredible event today.
Yeah, some really young athletes from lots of different backgrounds, and let's hope that we see more of them coming to Henley again after this first experience, the first taste of what it's like to race on this unique course. First had racing here at Henley Regatta in 1863, and it's the 183rd year of running the regatta this year, and we're delighted to welcome Groton to have a go at this famous course.
So there'll be lots of cheering, and we hope there's lots of people from Groton who are watching on this wonderful YouTube transmission that we have, so we can hear you cheering them on. It's pretty tough going for them because they have come up against the reigning Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup winners.
There we see the back of Sam Irving, 17 years of age, in the bow seat of the Eton 8, and in front of him Jamie Ginsberg, only 16, represented Great Britain in the Coxless 4 at Munich International Regatta back in May. And we also have Sam Williams, who came to Eton from Fulham Reach Boat Club on an academic scholarship. Fulham Reach is one of our outreach boat clubs, so to get an academic scholarship to Eton, pretty impressive, and then to find himself sitting in the 3 seat of that Eton crew, and really looks like a strong athlete with plenty of potential. In fact, some really strong young men through the middle of that Eton boat, and behind the deadlifting 2-time national schools champion Joseph Olagundoy at stroke, who set such a lovely easy rhythm off the start and really had not too much to worry about, as they will have gone through their race plan, not at full power, through this course.
Great, a lot of power there. They've got some power in reserve, and they're going to need that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that coming out over the next few days. As Groton fight right to the line. They've scrapped all the way and given everything that they had.
So that's Eton cheering Groton as they win the first round of the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup and go on to compete on Wednesday. Congratulations to Groton for their first performance down the Henley track, going down to such a strong crew.